What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Thursday Night Nine. Host Matt Bender here with the competition czar himself, most hated man on the APT, if you have handicap issues, and my good friend Jody Barrett. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hello, hello, hello.
Doing all right.
He's like, I'm just doing all right. I'm getting logged in here so I can see the chat. Don't want to miss any of the fun stuff in the chat. But it is Thursday Night 9. We've got some fun things for you guys tonight. A couple players joining us, a couple chapter owners, lots of events around the country. The golf season is in full swing.
Yes, I'm actually going to get to play in a tournament this weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will be doing graduation things, but
Well, that sucks to suck. I actually got to play golf today for the first time in a non-APT tournament round in a really long time.
Me too.
wow.
It was great.
That? Got to go play a little round with the mayor today. It was great.
So, Mayor of Dixon, Tennessee, of course, our good friend.
A longtime APT member from the jump.
So,
Yes.
well, lots of events this weekend. We'll start covering. Fake. This is your session. I can tell you about St. Louis. We've got the team event at Rolling Hills, a little 6-6-6 format that's a little different, going to be fun. And then Monday night or Monday, we've got Lake Forest Country Club, 160 players. St. Louis is going to be fun.
Nice. So what are I need a little help on this 6-6-6. So what are you doing? You doing like a scramble, an alternate, and a
So we're going to have some fun. It's going to be 6 holes of alternate shot, then 6 holes of best ball, followed by 6 holes of scramble to finish up the day.
nice.
So it's going to be a good time.
I look forward to all the discussions about who put who in the worst spot.
Right.
in the shot section. I mean, that's always the fun stuff.
Right.
Always the fun stuff. But no, man, we got Chris will probably have it scrolling, but we've got a couple 2-day events. We got Birmingham with Burning Tree.
Yes.
So they're all-time good ones. Jody, is that the one you're attending, or are you going to?
No, I'll be going to Western Kentucky.
Got it.
Going to play at
Park
Mammoth. Park
Yes.
Mammoth at Cave City, Kentucky.
The golf course that people who have heard my story about it, I still can't believe that place is awesome. But anyhow, it's awesome though. Those of you that are going, it's going to be a good time, and I look forward to going one of these days.
Chris literally said there's 30 events going on this weekend. You can't mention all of them.
Oh, sweet. Good. Well, I'll make sure.
I would have gone out to Denver, but they were sold out this week. Their opener. That would have been a good one.
We'll be talking to Kirk here soon because
good.
Denver's sold out. We've got Houston. We've got we
City,
make sure Virginia Capital gets there. They have another 2-day as well. Stonewall and Heritage Hunt. I think one of our guests is going up there and playing in that one. So, stuff everywhere. Like it is. We might be from sea to shining sea.
Things are popping.
Yes, there we go. I got it out. Anyhow, so yeah, if you want to play golf, be a good time.
There's lots of places to play in the APT this weekend. Will be a lot of fun. We'll jump right in. For those that are new, don't know the format, 9 topics. We're going to try to keep it to 5 minutes each. We got lots of special guests. That gets harder and harder. Fegley, you haven't been the pace of play problem the last couple of weeks, so congratulations. We're super proud of you. But hole 1, we'll jump right in. We've got the Cinco de Mayo champion in Division 1. One of my good friends and Las Vegas member, Josh Crossan, joining us all the way from Vegas.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Everything is good, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Did Lance bring you that hat back from the Masters?
No, it says 2025, but no, not him. Some other guy.
Okay. Just tell me you bought it off the internet from some person.
No, definitely not off the internet.
And if you did, don't admit to it. This is live streamed. Augusta can't see it.
Yeah, for sure. That's right. Nah, it wasn't bought on the black market.
That's good. So, of all things, beside that, you're recently did a full career change, universal retirement. You're doing all of that, so you're representing them as well. Anything you want to say on the universal retirement side before we get into golf?
Not much I wanted to say. Just we work great as a team and as a family. We're honored to be in a great partnership with the Amateur Players Tour. We we help out a lot of individual family education, and it's something near and dear to me. So I appreciate the position I'm in.
Cool. Awesome. Well, you certainly have been playing some good golf as of late on the APT. Got a win at not a very historic place. There's not a lot of, feels and getting a win on the South Course of Torrey Pines, but you got it done.
Yes, sir. It was a battle. Absolutely. We all kind of that were there. We battled the weather, obviously, on that Monday morning, at good old Torrey. But I did have to just throw a plug in there that, the weekend started Sunday. Aviara, which, maybe not say it was overshadowed with Torrey Pines because everyone knows Torrey, but Aviara, I had the opportunity to play there one other time prior, and that is, one of my probably favorite courses in San Diego. I played at some, $1 million upfront fees to join in certain parts of some wealthy areas of San Diego, and I honestly don't think that there's a better course than Aviara, in my opinion. And I think I stood by you, Matt, and you asked a couple guys and gals when they were done. And a lot of people brought up Aviara, which is, shows how great that course was.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's kind of funny when we booked it. That was one of the things Jody says, like, look, everybody's going to come for Torrey Pines, but everybody's going to want to come back because of Aviara.
Absolutely. Yeah. When we talk, obviously we all know Torrey Pines, for those that don't know, public course, they don't, it's public. They can't lighten the greens up, where Aviara is semi-private with, hotel guests or members only. And I don't know the exact number. I'm not some, greens guy, but, I did know that those greens are running, over 12s. They were fast. And as, I'm sure Fagley knows, he was there. You left it above the hole. You might as well chalk up a 3-putt,
Fagley's like, I did not win, and I'm not getting interviewed for winning, so I'm going to be quiet right now.
Yes, exactly. No, but it was exactly right. Like, if you were above the hole, it was interesting to watch what happened.
It was. It was. But no, I had a great time. I was, I'm always thankful. I was thankful that the APT had an event there, and I was eligible to play. And I did. It was a good mental health. It was good mental too. I had a couple bad holes on Sunday, like kind of everyone did. I made a double. I made 3 or 4 bogeys. Somehow scrambled off even par. Started Torrey. I bogeyed the first 4 holes, but I kind of looked at it as the other guys in my group were only beating me by 1. I think the best was 3 over through the first 4. It was, it was quite windy and rainy. And those first, not so much the first hole, but 2, 3, and 4 right on the water. And then I settled down, got to the back 9, and I made bogey on all 3 of probably the 3 toughest holes on the back, 11, 12, 13. And then same thing, locked in, made a couple birdies, parred obviously 16 and 17, which were, almost, near impossible as we've seen on TV at this year. Both events are in the past, just the Farmers, and, and then brought it home with as I'd call a Sally lag putt on 18 for eagle. I don't know why I left it short. I was 6 shots clear, but I don't know why I just didn't try to make a skin. But we'll chalk up the 4 with the circle. It'll be okay.
It's all good. We did make birdie on the last hole on Saturday to not lose a bunch of money to John Todd. So that was good.
That is very true. Mender came through. Sorry, Mender, I'm going to throw you under the bus. He hits the purest shot in the dark. It was dark. At 18, it's like a dog leg left up the hill. We were playing in the jungle of San Diego, some place called Jamul or something. This guy hits it stiff, and he leaves a 15-footer straight up the hill. A fraction of a roll in the heart, but
right.
But thank you, Mender. You did save a little extra that we would have to pay out to Mr. John. So
yeah, no, absolutely. We'll never want to pay John Todd, but
nobody likes paying John Todd money.
Yeah, nobody likes paying John Todd money. It's extra pressure. So I'll be in that position on Sunday at a practice round to probably have to pay some more John Todd money. So we'll see how that goes. But
cool.
I need to get to practicing. But
yeah, for sure. But thanks, and I'm just honored I get to represent the Las Vegas chapter. The new schedule, the new operations of Las Vegas have been quite exciting. I guess exciting is a good word. It's been very fun. I've had a great turnout this year. From what I've seen in the past, I had an opportunity from a friend of mine that just said, "Hey, you want to play in this little tour?" And he's like, "I hear you're good, but you're not probably that good." I came out, I think in 23, I won 7 of 8. I think, I didn't really know much. I was just having fun, and then, picked up the competitive juices again. But, over this year in 25, the Las Vegas chapter, we've seen, I think it's important for everyone to know just the growth, which is great. We're seeing a large turnout to our tournaments, and Las Vegas golf's tough. For any of us that do or don't know, it's tough to play in Las Vegas. Number one, we operate on a resident, non-resident, and sometimes it's tough to get groups of players in. But I'm lucky that I have Chase and Allie that are running it, and they've worked hand in hand in person, kind of nothing via phone, all in person to lock in some of these places that we get to play. And it's it's nice to just kind of continue and see it, and and even throwing a plug just like in June for the Las Vegas chapter for anybody that wants to come into sunny Las Vegas. We're playing. It's a 1 day, but we're trying to think of putting something together for Saturday. But it's being played at Bears Best. Bears Best actually got bought out by an overseas company. They're trying to match a place called Summit Club. That's it's about $5 million to join, but they're looking to put it in some type of price. Yeah, they're trying to put in some type of price range like that. So we actually we're playing the last day before it goes full private. So it's one of my favorite courses. Bears Best is some of us have played. It's got 18 different courses designed by Jack, 18 different holes that are designed by Jack for some of his places across the world. So that's a big shout out. But excited for Las Vegas for the rest of the year, and then I know with the win and my success so far, I've already booked my trip and everything chalked up for September to come back to Disneyland, Disney World out there. So I'm excited for that and to battle, represent Las Vegas, and most importantly, have a good time and enjoy myself and take pride in representing APT.
Awesome. Well, we love it. The one thing I'll say about Vegas, and Jody, I'll bring you in. One of the things we've noticed about this year with Chase and Allie, they've worked so hard, but I love getting calls from members that travel across the country, and more members travel to Vegas from across the country than most other places. And I always get calls from members just getting compliments about the experience they've received in Vegas. A lot of personal touches that Chase and Allie are doing. It's a really good vibe out there, and just growing like a weed. It's fun to watch, and looking forward to getting out there. In fact, I was on the phone yesterday, booking some 2026 stuff with a couple different courses in Vegas. So if you're a member of APT and you like coming to Vegas, stay tuned because there's some big things on the horizon.
Sweet. I'm excited, and I don't even know. And that's the God honest truth. I'm excited. So
well, we've talked a lot about trying to get more majors out west, as particularly as we have successful events like we just had at Torrey and Aviara, and as some of those chapters out there like Las Vegas and Phoenix and Southern Cal with Troy, things are really starting to pop off out there, and we're seeing a lot of sizable growth, and that makes it a lot easier for us to start booking more majors in your neck of the woods. And so Vegas is on everybody's list. It's easy flight from just about every chapter we've got. I think Jimmy Buffett had a song called "Everybody's Got a Cousin in Miami." I think everybody has a room, a free room in Las Vegas.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I mean our kind of bordered states, Troy, Dennis, and I think it's Rich, right? I'm not sure who it is.
Yeah.
Actually, it is Rich. Arizona. I don't forget about Utah. I mean, Dennis does a great job there. I love our 4 bordering cities. A large major. I know. I know we're jealous sometimes of Matt getting here in 160 players, and I know Vegas can do it, and I know they'd be proud to host it.
That'd be great. Looking forward to it.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll bring you back on here in a minute for hole 3, I should say. But we also got all the way from Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going sea to shining sea and guests. We got Mr. Matt Miller, competition committee member, longtime APT member, one of the original 8 of the Victoria National Match Play, famously the runner-up of the Victoria National Match
You
Play
had to go there. You
in,
had to go there.
in 2021. But hey, man, we're proud of you.
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
Good to see you, man.
Never misses an opportunity to twist the knife.
Oh, I know. He used to have the trophy in the background. Luckily, it's gone.
I think it's in my garage. I need to bring it back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Now, just to segue on what was said, I actually played with Chase twice out in San Diego. Really good guy. Allie was with him the entire time. It's the type of duo that you really hope and can see succeeding in Vegas. They're really good people, and they were a lot of fun to hang out with.
So I remember when you were warming up for that round, you're like, he's bringing his girlfriend. And I was like, dude, it'll be fine. I promise you. You'll have a good time.
I mean, she was hitting some shots at Tori on the range just because we had kind of unlimited balls, and I stood behind her watching. I'm just like, are you APT ready? Seeing if you're ready to have people watching you swing, and no joke. As soon as I started watching her, she's just striping them right down the middle. I'm just like, I can't do that, and she's brand new.
Nice.
It's all good, man. So, well, you've been around APT. You have a little bit different perspective than most. Joining back then it was the handicap committee 2 years ago now.
It's been about 2 years. Yep.
About 2 years. And so you've kind of seen both sides of it, being on those committee calls and reading the relegation request emails and dealing with what you guys deal with obviously gives you a little bit different perspective. So is there anything you want to talk into?
Well, I mean, we're gonna be talking about that a little bit later on the call as well. But just in general, I hope people understand how much work we put into that. I mean, we meet every Wednesday night and we look at people that are relatively close to the line, and we make sure that the competition is fair for everybody. That's the goal. Obviously, there's always going to be those outliers that happen, but we work really hard. And myself, I'm a volunteer. I'm not getting paid for this. I truly believe in the APT motto and the system we have in place, and I believe it's the best way for us to be successful. So I volunteer my time and happy to do so to make sure that everybody has a fair shot to win every week.
Cool. Well, we appreciate it. Let's get into some events a little bit. Like, what's on your list? I know you've traveled the country to play. I know you've talked, going to Vegas to play. You've been to Denver to play. I know you had a good time at one of Kirk's events.
Yep.
He's here with us. We'll talk to him and check in with them in a little bit. He's probably off camera right now because he's selling more memberships because he hasn't stopped selling memberships. They're blowing up out of Denver. So hopefully we can at least sneak 5 minutes of his time. But tell me some of your places you like to go around the country and sneak peek some of that.
Yeah, I mean, I actually looked before the call. I've played I guess this would be my 5th year. I've played in 143 tournaments in 18 different chapters, and I've probably been to, 20 majors at this point, if not a little bit more. I mean, every part of the country has pros and cons. I mean, as a shorter hitter, playing with Kirk out in Denver, I absolutely love it because I feel like I'm actually a golfer and I'm hitting 9-iron or wedge into a green as opposed to my 4-iron. So that's always nice. Or you can obviously play by the beach and you've got great views. So regardless of where you're playing, you're probably going to have fun. And, that's a big part of it for me is being social in this whole thing. I mean, I got dead last at Torrey, but I had the time of my life. I mean, it's not about winning and losing all the time. And I'm more than happy to get last if I have a good time. And like I mentioned, play with somebody like Chase, but I will bring up a story real quick if you don't mind.
Sure.
Burning Tree is this weekend down in Birmingham. So I went and played that event last year and obviously flying from Charlotte to, I can't remember where I flew into. It doesn't really
Muscle
matter.
Shoals.
Don't remember, but my clubs got lost on the way down there. I get in at 9 p.m. or whenever it was later at night, the night before the event, and I call Tim Harbin, who was one of them that was running that event, and I said, Tim, can you call the course or something early in the morning? I don't have clubs. I don't know what I'm going to do. I came down here for this 2-day event. I really want to play, but I've got no way of doing so. So Tim at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night called around his entire membership and said, can you spare a club for Matt? Can you spare a club for Matt? They put together an entire bag tees, glove, balls, everything that you could possibly want. And they had it ready for me the following morning. And you had people coming up to me who had never talked to me before saying, did you get what you need? Did you get what you needed? And it was awesome. It was one of those times where it's like, all right, I understand why everybody loves this so much. It's because of moments like this where people are looking out for each other. It was one of those times where, and I can't thank Tim enough, but it was one of those times where I was really happy to be part of APT.
That's awesome, man. So that is really good. Well, we're going to keep you on a couple holes tonight. We got competition committee. We're going to go right into the next segment. We're bringing Josh back, which is the pace of play deal. So we'll have a nice little conversation with this, with some players present. We like to cover some of these things, Matt. We started sending surveys for majors, and so we're still going through some of the responses in the surveys, and want to bring up things that are just good things. And one of the biggest things I think that sometimes people deal with is they hate being on the clock. We're talking about pace of play. So why don't you explain to everybody what it means to be on the clock and what you can do to get yourself on the clock and how to avoid it in the future?
Well, if someone goes down the path of having a situation that they are put on the clock, you are judged by how long you take to hit the ball once it's your shot. You get 40 seconds, give or take a few, to make sure that you're able to get through your routine and.
But 40 seconds from when, Fegley? Because this is what's important. Not 40 seconds from when you address the ball.
No, it's when it's clearly your turn.
Correct.
So from
So in other words, if it's cart path only, and it's your turn, and you walk across the fairway with your rangefinder and not a club, and walk back, you're on the clock the entire time.
Yes, which is that's an extreme example, but yes.
Is it really though? Is it really?
That's fair. But the more important thing is again, those are the extreme measures, right? But everything that you can do as a player before then, look up when you're on the tee box and go, where's the group? And if you don't see them, that is always a great time to go, hey, everybody, we are clearly behind because I don't see the group. Do you see the group? Are they over a hill or something and we don't see them? No, they're nowhere to be found. That right there sets off in your mind that it is time to go and get caught up to find that group. So when somebody, whether it's the course ranger, whether it's one of the tournament committee members, comes by and goes, hey, guys, you're behind, you should already know.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that's important because, the complaint that came in, well, I didn't have any warning before I was on the clock. No, you had plenty of warning. So you get warned when you show up at the golf course and they tell you to keep up with the group in front of you. That's warning number one. And then every time you get to the fairway on the tee, if you don't see when you're in the fairway, if there's people on the green, you're in position. If there's not people on the green, you're out of position. That's warning number 2 on every hole. And if you can't see the group in front of you when you get to the tee, you're way behind.
Yes.
It's like the whole thing, like you get the rock, like the little meme they put on, Facebook about golf course, like wet rock, rain.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like no rock, tornado kind of thing. It's if you're not waiting on the group in front of you in tournament play, you are behind.
Yes.
Well, and look, not for nothing, but when I've done it, and y'all are probably talking about me because I'm the one that drives up to your group and says, "Hey guys, you're 2 holes behind, and your group is now on the clock. You have 40 seconds to hit each shot. I'm going to stay with you until you're back in position." It's just as cut and dry as that. That is your warning. I don't drive up and say I'm giving you all 2-stroke penalty.
And we're doing it to help you. Yes. And just so you know, things that drive me crazy, we got players on here, so we'll let them jump in a second. But just so you know, when you come and tell me that your group got put on the clock and it messed up your game, we do not care. Like, I don't even know how to say it other than we do not care because you're messing up everyone's game behind you for the rest of the tournament.
That's right. The 14 groups behind you that have been waiting for every shot because you're 2 holes behind and you've got the whole golf course backed up, you've messed their game up. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
By the way,
Josh Miller's on the competition. What?
By the way, with me sitting there and staying with your group, I'm also an extra set of eyes that's watching your balls for you where they go. I'm usually going up ahead and spotting tee shots for you and helping you look for balls. I mean, it's not like I'm just sitting there waiting to try to get you if I can. I'm trying to help you as much as possible to get you caught up and get you back in position.
Yeah, I hear you're pretty good at raking bunkers too.
I've raked a lot of bunkers at Torrey to try to help everybody
And
keep up.
and the point
There are
is,
a lot
too,
of bunkers at Torrey.
Yes.
trust me, we want to penalize you. We don't want to penalize you just as much as you don't want to be penalized. Trust me, that is not the situation we want. We want you to just be in position so all the pace of play is going good and everybody's happy. So we're just out there to try to help get the situation back. Josh, I'll let you jump in. And how do you deal with situation? I mean, obviously out in Vegas, I'm not going to pick on any names, but you've had a few slower players out there that I'm sure you've been paired with, and you've got to speed them up. What's some good tips? Everybody wants to know, like, well, I don't want to say anything to anybody. How do you kind of help keep the round moving?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's just it's I look at it as being a leader too. Like, I'm a leader of APT from my chapter. I might not be the operator of it, but it's I'll speak up. I'm not afraid. I want to say the one thing that I hate the most, and you want to get Josh upset and not having a good time, as Minder will know from Saturday in San Diego. I hate playing 5, let alone 6.5 hours. So I mean, I'll tell him, and I mean. It's like baby things. Like, I've seen a guy I've played with, like, dude, why are you marking that 2-footer, brother? Like, dude, it's not world ending, man. Like, it's little things. Like, and when I can see that we're starting to, when I see that we're starting to, like, not maybe see that group in front of you, I'm going to let them know, let's move. And I play with a really good friend of mine. His name's Jonathan. He's actually one of my really good friends, but one of my biggest competitors on the Las Vegas tour out of Division I. And he is one of the best examples. Like, this guy, somebody will be still teeing off from our group and he's on the green. Like, he will play so fast and he will make the group speed up, which I think that's a big thing that, I've kind of learned on piggybacking off of him too.
Well, my other favorite thing that players say, and it is what it is. Well, tournament golf just isn't meant to be played in 4.5 hours. I will tell you that I was at the golf course today with Mike Lingenfelter and Rick Johnson and Bill Stewart, 3 of our members. We shot a podcast. I answered 4 interview questions at least per hole, and we were still done in 3 hours and 45 minutes, passing 2 GoPros around all day, talking about everything in between shots. We told more stories in between shots. I'm like, on the first hole, I'm like, this is going to be bad. This could be like a 5.5 hour round. 3:45, and we did a full podcast.
Love it. The last thing I wanted to say was, I think, and I think this is a big shot for everyone to just really hear it is, you probably will play better the less you think about it. We're not on the tour. Yes, we love competitive golf. I love competitive golf. I'm not on the tour. I'm nowhere near as good as those guys. I bet I kind of challenge everyone, go out and play with your buddies and don't really think about it and get that mental weird part in your head. I'll take the under that you're going to shoot below your handicap. So
and I'm going to jump in on one thing. Alderucci probably make fun of me because I played on a mini tour. I said it. It is what it is. But I'll tell you this, and then we'll go to Miller because I want to talk about what you just said because someone else said it. So I'm going to jump on it for a second. But I will tell you that players that are trying to play at the highest levels of golf spend thousands upon thousands of dollars with sports psychologists to learn how to hit their shot faster and react as opposed to thinking about it. If you want to know what sports psychology 101 is, it is learning to see a shot, visualize a shot, and hit a shot without getting involved in the way. So if you think going to a tournament is to grind because that's what you're supposed to do, you are literally sabotaging your ability to play well. So not only will we be slow and be on the clock and be mad, but you will also play bad golf. So, Miller, I want to hear from you. I know you've dealt with some doozies. We've had some conversations about some doozies from time to time.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think what I've learned over my time is that if you almost make it a joke within the group and say, like, dude, you're the problem, right? Like, just don't, keep it really lighthearted. And it's not like you're not trying to be a confrontational jerk. You're not trying to start a fight. You're reminding them, like, again, this is supposed to be for fun. This is supposed to be our weekend, adventure, whatever. and keep it lighthearted. I mean, we have some players. Again, I'm not going to name names either, but we have some players who are known to have these very deliberate routines on some of our local chapters. And I mean, there's points where once I get to know them enough, I'll just start mocking them, like outwardly just mocking them and just letting them know, like, dude, you do realize this is how long it's taking you, right? And it's probably not the appropriate approach, but that's just who I am.
That's totally fair. Well, we got a lot coming. Just so you know, if Chris and I leave the broadcast, it's because we're getting hit with severe thunderstorm right now in Decatur. But stay tuned. We got a message from Turtleson, and then we've got a couple of great chapter owners to visit with, and then we're going to talk through the rules. So
Jody's stretching.
Jody's still doing it. Not that we ever talk about slow players. We might be talking about it in the chat. It does happen. So you may not know who you are, but we know who you are. There you go. Is that fair, Jody?
Love you to death. Just want you
Yes.
to play faster.
Just want you to play faster. We want to spend 4.5 hours with you, not 5.
That's right.
So
We'd like to spend 30 minutes in the bar chatting stories and not.
yeah, that's fine. Just 4.5 hours on the 18 holes. So anyway.
Just don't whisper at me when you yell at me.
Right. But anyways, we got some special guests here tonight. I'm really excited to bring this guy on. Talk about growing like a weed, and that is our Denver chapter. If you've not been out to Denver yet to experience an APT event, you are missing out. His wife gets mad at me because we keep changing his membership goal, but we can't have him hit his membership goal in like November. That's no fun. So, but they're killing it. Almost 150 members strong now in their first full season, the Denver chapter. Mr. Kirk Holbert.
Yes.
How are you doing, buddy? He's on the phone. This is great.
Yeah. Thank you
I'm
very
telling
much.
you, signed up a member right now, guys. That's what's happening.
Thank you.
So it's all good.
Sorry, Jody, had to get one more in.
We're 138, buddy. 138. Let's go.
I thought you were talking to the bullpen for the Rockies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a complete another story.
So I saw the post. They're having open tryouts.
Yes. I might even get my arm going again and get in there.
Woo-wee.
One of our members is actually used to play in the Rockies organization, and he made it all the way to AA. So I've been talking to him about he wants to become the pitching coach. So
Here we go.
stay tuned.
There you go. At this point, I mean, it can't get any worse.
Boy, that's for sure.
So
Well, speaking of membership, though, you're like already up to like 144 members. I think, is that the number now? Or was that 145 right there?
That was 145.
There we go.
Yeah. Chris the other day said, well, your next goal once you hit 150 is 200. And I said, well, wait a minute. What happened to 175? He said, oh, no, once you hit 150, we go up by 50.
That's right. We want big chunks after that.
There you go.
So no, it is what it is, man. Once you get to 150, it's pretty easy to get to 200. So, but I got to tell you, it's evident that you guys are doing the right things in Denver. Things are moving. You got a big sold out opener this weekend. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. We are actually sponsored this week by Divot Magazine. And actually, I just received a text. They're going to give 72 every player in the field what they call their brew saver. They have historically done the Green Saver book here in Denver, which is a discount book for the golf courses. They charge roughly $50, and they require any golf course to get into the Green Saver book to one use of the book. They get their $50 back. So it's been highly successful. So 20 of our members will do a drawing, and they will win the digital Green Saver. And we'll have 20 more participants win the actual physical paper Green Saver book. So we started with the city. It's a City of Denver course. It is a Donald Ross design, and Ben Hogan has actually played in a tournament at Welshire, and so they have their own Hogan's Alley. So it's very exciting. And the City of Denver, we learned last year, you want to start low with them because it's very easy to increase your numbers, but it's very difficult and costly to decrease your numbers. So we started with 48. We had that, I think, in February. And then we went to 60, and then we went to 68. And I wasn't positive I wanted to go to 72 because that will put me on the first tee for 3 hours. So pace of play, I have to rely on our players to make sure that they're doing that. But we finished with 72 players. Plus, if you believe it or not, we had to have 10 cancellations as well. So we could have easily had.
Wow.
Nice. It's pretty good. Lots of good stuff going on in Denver. I know I'm excited. My wife is excited. We're coming out to Rain Dance National in June. Going to spend a couple days with you guys in Denver. Another gym on your schedule. Why don't you tell us a couple? I'm telling you, man, the golf course you guys have been getting. I keep getting the pictures of these places, and they are just really, really spectacular.
Yes. Well, in the middle of the winter, or actually probably the beginning of winter, Brenda said, you've got too much on your plate. You're booking some of the courses that we booked and played last year. Would you please let me take over and get some other courses? So she did, and she did an excellent job. We're going back, like you said, Matt, really look forward to having you experience Rain Dance National, a Fred Funk design. And Fred drops in and plays frequently, so there's a good chance you can run into him there. And the experience is fantastic at the golf course, but the surroundings right there at the course, it's on an old farm. It's owned by a water district. And I'm not going to say too much about it, but in March, right there at Rain Dance National, you can ski in the morning and play golf in the afternoon. Then we also have 3 private country clubs on our schedule for this year. 2 weeks after we play this weekend, we're going to Keystone. And Matt Miller talked about hitting and playing at altitude. Well, we're going to go up and play at 9,000 feet. So we'll be seeing wedges fly over greens and all kinds of things. Then we also have Riverdale Dunes, which is a fantastic Pete Dye design. And I'm still waiting for my phone to ring and have Jody on the other end of the phone calling me saying, hey, pick me up at the airport tomorrow. We're going to go down to the Broadmoor, and we're going to talk about getting a major there.
It's definitely on the list, sir.
I know you keep telling me that. I actually played in the media day for the U.S. Seniors Open there 2 days ago, and the course is unbelievable, as it always is, and in great shape. And so I got to reacquaint myself with the pro. So let's work on it and get it. And if we can't get that, we always have, we already talked about Rain Dance National. We've got TPC Colorado. And of course, we have the new Prairie Dunes, which is Abandoned Dunes.
Yeah, that's right.
New facility. So,
yep.
So I'll join in with Vegas and, touting another major out here in the West.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it.
You actually forgot one of the golf courses we're talking to. So, because there's these hotels we like to go to that are owned by Omni.
Oh,
they've
yes.
got a pretty good golf course in Denver as well. So
they've got 3 fantastic courses. So I'm ready. Just you guys take your pick.
Love it.
Well, we will, man. We appreciate you stopping by. Don't want to take up too much of your time because, you got to sign up member 146. So
yes, absolutely.
I know Brenda's got you working hard, but man, we're so excited about what's going on in Denver, and look forward to getting out to celebrate with you here in about a month.
We look forward to having you for sure. Let me add one other quick thing.
Sure.
Whenever we do get a new member, there's a little competition with Brenda, and she does all of the marketing and getting the posts out for new members. And of course, I did the Facebook and Instagram leads campaign. So when we get a new member, she's always asking, okay, whose is it? Is it yours or is it off of my post? So
Sometimes there's some marital strife over that,
no comment.
I love it.
Thanks, guys, for having us on.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So Fagley, we may have some storm issues going on. Looks like
I know.
Matt's locked
Oh.
up right now.
He did lock up.
Yeah, they've got a storm coming through Decatur right now. So you and I are going to have to take the con for a few minutes at least. So, and I don't have the agenda on in front of us. I think next we're probably going to have to go to, what are we on, hole 4?
Yeah, we're somewhere like that. Man, I should have brought this up. We've got here we go. Kirk, hole 5. We were going to bring Keith Tillman on, but I'm not sure if we can get him on because I don't have controls. But if Chris can,
Oh,
Hey!
Chris is still with us. There he is.
there we
Hey,
go.
look, Oklahoma City.
Yeah,
Keith couldn't be outdone.
I'm calling calling Kirk to be 146.
There you go.
Perfect. Perfect. So Keith Tillman, our chapter owner in Oklahoma City, how's everything out on the plains, buddy?
It's going good. Need some weather to calm down. We've had 2 cancellations the last couple of tournaments, and just need it to calm down for this Sunday.
It's definitely been a challenging winter spring shift this year for sure. We've had this strange thing here in the southeast, this strange weather pattern with a counterclockwise rotation. We've been getting rain and weather coming out of the southeast here in Middle Tennessee. That never happens. So we're all kind of standing around looking at each other going, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah.
It's been brutal.
My first year it went really well. Didn't have any events where it was threatened with weather, but I guess the second year's the challenges where you have cancellations and have to make a way around it.
Right.
It's at least the fortunate thing where it was bad enough to have a clear decision where it's like, yeah, we're not playing this week. There's nothing worse than and then the thunderstorm pops up and you're like, great, we played 8 holes. Now we got to wait around for an hour and a half. And, so.
Yeah, no, the 17 inches of rain that flooded the course kind of decided early on we weren't playing.
Yeah, it's like, no, you are not playing today unless you bring a scuba gear.
Yeah, we've had. I think I was talking to the mayor today when we were playing, and he said it's the records are saying it's the wettest spring that we've had in Tennessee on record. I think something like 17 or 18 inches in March and April. So,
Wow.
we're all ready for some sunshine, and let's get some heat, sunshine, and dry weather so the ball will actually roll in the fairways. It'd be great.
Yeah. Well, we're coming into kind of tornado season where in the evenings it's ramping up and lightning, tornadoes, and all that. So just look for some good weather to have some events.
There you go. Where are you this weekend? Where are you guys playing this weekend?
Kicking Bird Golf
That's right.
Course. It's a public course, but they shut it down for 2 years to redo it.
Okay.
And so, I mean, the grass is phenomenal. It's the best public course around here by far.
Nice.
But
And
it's one of my elevated events.
Okay.
And you've got several good ones. Oklahoma, people shouldn't sleep on it. We talk about Iowa quite a bit about how it's one of the sneakiest, good schedules in the country. But Oklahoma's got some really good golf courses. I know you've got the OU course coming up on your schedule. I'm actually got that one circled. I'm hoping I might be able to sneak out there and play around with you guys for that one. So what else you got on the list that people need to keep an eye on? Maybe try to make an effort to get out there to play with you guys.
Well, you mentioned Jimmy Austin is the Norman course. It's the Oklahoma Sooners men's golf course. They've hosted a Corn Ferry Tour event there, the NCAA championships. I mean, it's a Perry Maxwell course, which I think half of Oklahoma is Perry Maxwell, but it's a phenomenal course. And then my last major of the year is Winter Creek. It's a semi-private club that it's a real good course. Everybody loves playing it. It's kind of a winding hills type course, but it's always in phenomenal shape. It's one of the few courses we have here in Oklahoma City that has Bermuda greens. Most of our courses still have bent greens, so it brings a different challenge to people putting on Bermuda than bent around here anyway. I know
Right.
even when I come to some of the national majors, putting on the Bermuda, it's not as easy.
Right.
It's an art to it.
Absolutely. Well, and you got a guy just to your east too, over there in northeast Oklahoma, that likes to talk a little trash too. So you guys got a friendly rivalry going between Oklahoma City and Tulsa?
Yeah, we've got what we call as a Route 66 competition.
Okay.
It's kind of a Ryder Cup style. This year I'm hosting it here in Oklahoma City. We're going to do on Saturday 27 holes with 9-hole scramble, 9-hole best ball, 9-hole alternate shot, and then Sunday we'll finish it up with singles matches.
Nice.
Last year it was I couldn't get enough players to play, so I played.
Mm-hmm.
It was the most fun I've had playing in a tournament. I mean, it was such a blast.
That's great.
Awesome.
They won last year, but this year's our turn. So we're going to defend home field advantage.
There you go.
So if you talk to Mark, tell him.
Let him know.
We'll be hearing from him. I won't be surprised if he doesn't pop in the chat here in a second.
Right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, I don't know if we got Matt back on here or not. He still looks like he's frozen up. We did get a message from the tournament committee here. Chris Isom says that they're getting some very hard rain and wind, but the greens will be fine. Keep on playing.
All right.
So let's go ahead and let's talk a little bit about putting groups on the clock. That's hole 6. Kirk, we got you back on here to talk about this as a chapter owner, and Keith as well. So Fegley, talk about what happens. What's the procedure for putting a group on the clock, and what does that look like?
Yeah, we touched on it earlier, but just to remind everybody, it basically involves where you as a player are only allotted 40 seconds to hit your shot once it is your turn. Like we had talked about before, if you need a club, if you got to go back to your cart, something like that does account for your time. But some of the simple things that we talk about for pace of play, that's why you want to make sure you can do things before it's your turn to get prepared. That's the way that everybody can then understand who's the particular person, if there is one, that is holding the group up. So, again, it's pretty simple. It's pretty factual. There doesn't need to be an argument or anything. It just, hey guys, I'm here. We're going to put you on the clock. I'm going to help you get caught back up. And that's just the simple gist of it. So that's
with Keith and Kirk on here with us, when we go to our majors, we usually we have a few extra staff members. Chris and Matt and I are there. A lot of times we'll have Phil. Sometimes Fegley will show up. So we usually have 1 or 2 people that we can get out on the golf course, even while Chris is still running the first tee and getting play started. So you may not necessarily have that luxury at the local level. Kirk, you and Brenda may be doing everything you can to get everybody registered and get everybody off the first tee. So part of the art is, getting some help from other members or people that can come in and give you an assist. So what do you guys do to try to monitor pace of play and keep things moving while you're also still trying to get folks off the first tee?
Well, there's probably 3 things that we really focus on. number one, and it hasn't been brought up tonight, but on other calls we've talked quite a bit about, and that is play ready golf. We put that in our rule sheet that we send out to all the participants a few days before the tournament. It's on our starter sheet. It's on the rule sheet that every player gets. So we stress that tee to green because, like you said, Jody, there's no way I can be in two places at once. Then the other thing that had me a little concerned, as well as you guys at the national office for our first tournament this year, with so many new players, knock on wood, but I was able to, every single group has at least one experienced APT player in the foursome this year. And that was critical for me because I've talked with them. They know how we operate. They can help the other people out. And quite a few of the groups, we have two experienced players in. So that's very good. And then Brenda does watch while I'm still on the first tee. She watches the app and the pace of play report, and she'll text me right away or text the group and keep them moving. So those are the things we are pushing and do.
That does bring up a good point too. Mentioning the app, we do have through Blue Golf with the live scoring system. Another reason why we're so concerned with making sure all the groups are keeping live score and putting their scores in after each hole is because that also goes back into the tour director app that we use that monitors pace of play, and that is linked directly to you putting your scores into the live score. So it tells us where you are on the golf course, what hole you're through, and what time that you're putting your scores in. So you can throw us a curveball if you're waiting 2 holes to put in the last two scores, and it's going to look like you're 2 holes behind. So if we come out there to yell at you and you're not behind, but it's because you haven't been putting your scores in, it's your own fault.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. One other thing that I just remembered, and Keith, hopefully I'm not stealing your thunder here, but I'm not saying very many players look at this, but I do print out the timetable, if you will, for the pace of play before the tournament. So we have that right on the table at registration, and we pointed out, but like I said, do people look at it that close? I don't know, but I always have a copy of it with me when I'm going around on the course to, say, hey, look here, this is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah. What about you, Keith? What kind of system do you use to kind of keep guys, keep an eye on the field while you're still trying to keep things moving?
But to kind of continue with what Kirk said, you have the ability, or what I've done is put the time finish for each hole on the scorecard, so that on the scorecard at the start of the round, I tell them, here's the times when you should be finishing this hole by this time, as well as keeping up with the group in front of you. And then I use the tour director app, even when I'm calling out on the tee box, and I'll call my son and say, hey, this group's behind. Can you go find out what's going on? And so we just tag team it while I can't get out there. And then once I'm through, I can get out there and just kind of monitor where everything's at. But the tour director app is really a big help to seeing where people are at. And even if, like you said, even if they're not entering scores, I call my son and say, they're not entering scores, go get them.
Yeah.
So
I've actually called a player in the group to go, hey man, what are y'all doing? Y'all are supposed allegedly on the 12th hole. I'm back here on number 3 dealing with another issue, but it looks like you're way out of position. Can you fix that for me? That way I don't have to worry about sending somebody out there. That's the most convenient thing, when you have somebody there that their number and you can just pick up the phone and call them.
See, that's the time where you get to flip that fact on everybody being able. Well, I'm just gonna call Jody and ask him about this. You get that one time where you're like, all right, man, it's coming back at you.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I've gotten on Blue Golf before and texted the foursome to say, hey, somebody keep score, please.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully these guys, when they get two holes behind or something like that, hopefully they're holding on to their 2 unders. So we're gonna step aside, and watch a little video here, watch a commercial with our friends at 2 under.
Two under. Quality fabrics, no roll waistband, Joey pouch, elevate and separate, no chafing. What more could you ask for?
I mean, I could ask for a lot more,
Right.
Ricky.
All I have to say is I'm blaming Keith because the tornado sirens have went off like 5 times since we started this call as we're
There we
sitting
go.
here. So I'm blaming Oklahoma for sure. It's definitely his fault.
Well, Luke Combs thinks about Oklahoma, so it is their fault. We'll blame it on them.
So we're good. I just keep looking. I'm like, the sirens just keep going off. I think it's passed, and then it's just round again. So all the fun. But sorry for cutting out there. We lost power twice. We're having a good time tonight here in APT home office in
Right.
Decatur. So what's up next? Are we do the rules? Are
We're
we
on
do the
hole
rules?
7, baby. Rule 2, the course.
Rule 2, the
Course.
course. I think this is important.
Tag you
going
are
through.
it.
So many people go through the rule book as we go through kind of the basics of it, not understanding really the core competencies that make up the rules. And it makes it really hard to apply the rules later. So if you're not sure, from that perspective, some of these, we're going and covering the basics because the basics are important. So rule 2 is the course. This is one of my favorite player excuses of all time was, hey, I hit in the cornfield, but I didn't see white stakes. Is that out of bounds? Yes, it's out of bounds because it's not on the golf course. So rule 2.1, course boundaries and out of bounds. Golf is played on a course whose boundaries are set by the committee. Areas not on the course are out of bounds. So if you're in a backyard, are you out of bounds? Yes.
Can I guess that the cornfield was in Iowa? Because that would make the most sense.
We've had that at Ambrier before. Iowa would make sense. The whole deal. But that's 2.1, course boundaries out of bounds. 2.2 is the defined areas of the course. And this is really important to understand. We'll apply that. There's 5 areas of course. First is the general area, which is the entire golf course, except for the 4 specific areas that we're going to talk about in a second. The general area is all the areas but these areas. Do you know what they are? Fegley, can I quiz you?
Yep.
Did you do your homework?
Of course. The
Look
teeing
at you.
area. The teeing area, right?
Yep.
The putting green.
Teeing area, putting green.
Penalty areas.
Yep.
And bunkers.
Yes. So when we tell you that something is lift, clean, in place in the general area, that means you can touch your ball and move it. Usually 1 scorecard length, no coastal hole, and anywhere on the golf course except teeing areas, putting green, penalty areas, or areas that are defined as penalty areas, and bunkers. Pretty simple. But those are big things to understand. So when you hear the general area, that's what it means. So in determining the area of a course, where a ball lies, area
Look
of
how
course,
fancy we are.
I know.
We got
So a
graphics.
ball is always treated as lying in only one area of the course. If part of the ball is in both the general area and one of the 4 specific areas, it is treated as lying in that specific area of the course. So this is interesting. I've never seen this, but if part of the ball is in 2 specific areas of the course, it is treated as lying in the specific area that comes first in this order: penalty area, bunker, and then putting green. Kind of interesting there. So this is where you see when your ball's half on the fringe, half on the green. That's why it's on the green, and you can mark it. If any part of your ball is on the green, it is considered to be on the green. So pretty good there. Big thing to understand is each of those areas define different rules. And so understanding the different areas of the course and where to apply them will build as we go through the rule book. But if you're just starting and watching this and wanting to understand the rules, the first place you want to start before reading the rule book is the definitions of the rules and then start with some of these because these are all the foundation that all the other rules that get confusing build on. So that's important. So 2.3 is objects or conditions that can interfere with play. This is key. So certain rules may give free relief from interference in certain defined objects or conditions, such as loose impediments, movable obstructions, and abnormal course conditions, which are animal holes, ground under repair, immovable obstructions, and temporary water. It says, but there's no relief from boundary objects or integral objects that interfere with play. So, Jody, why don't you give an example of loose impediment?
Okay. Rock, leaf, pine straw, twig.
Anything that's not affixed to the ground, easy to move.
You said
Tiger
examples. I
famously,
gave you examples.
Tiger famously stretched that rule, right? How about a movable obstruction, Fegley?
A movable obstruction.
Movable or immovable?
Movable.
Move. Something that I can move that's obstructing me. So one of the famous ones that you will run into is the 150-yard stake when it is in a, when it's a pole that's, you can move it. That's one of the famous ones. Movable obstruction. Whew, what else? What else we got? That's the first one that comes to mind.
Bunker rake.
Okay. Yeah, a bunker rake. That's a good one. That's a good.
How about a stake? How about a rope and stake or
yes,
a carts sign that says carts only here?
That's a good point. A cart sign, like you said, a roped, where they'll put a rope along the cart path or something like that.
What about a $500 hole-in-one sign?
Oh, that too.
That would be a movable obstruction. That's very good. And we'll get into relief of those as we get through. But the biggest thing to understand here between these two is a loose impediment is typically natural, and a movable obstruction is man-made.
That's good.
So that's the big difference.
Just don't hang the guy with a rope whenever you're trying to move it out of the way.
Correct. So what about an immovable?
Don't get it caught in your cart and drag it around. Anyhow.
What about an immovable obstruction?
Immovable obstruction.
The good old control towers for the sprinkler systems.
Control towers.
Porta potty.
Cart path.
Cart path. Cart path is always a good one. Yeah, electrical box. That's
And the difference between a movable obstruction and immovable obstruction, pretty self-explanatory. You can't move it. So same thing. Chris, a heavy boulder is not an immovable obstruction, buddy.
Not if you have enough people that can pick it up for you.
Tiger did it. Tiger moved it as a loose impediment, which is complete crap. But there's quite a big debate on that. But if you need 10 of your friends to move it, it's probably not a loose impediment. Just saying. So that being said,
what always happens with the rules. You wind up going down the crazy examples, but
Yeah. So the other thing we wanted to put there as well, when it comes to, there's no free relief from boundary objects or integral objects that interfere with play. So boundary objects are things like fences that serve as the out of bounds boundary, white stakes. So you can take relief if your ball's in the general area from a red penalty stake, but you can't take relief from a white out of bounds stake.
Correct.
What about a greens fan?
Greens fan would be a immovable obstruction.
Mm-hmm.
You get
relief from.
You get stance and swing. You do not get flight of the golf ball.
What about a telephone pole?
Telephone pole would also be an immovable obstruction.
Wow. Liking this. Here we go.
So power lines, Miller.
Power lines is a whole.
Typically, there's a local rule in play that if your ball strikes the power line, you have to replay the shot.
Yep. We have that at Greystone.
So
I was like,
it is a local rule. You're not going to say that's Rule 17.2. It is a model local rule, one that I believe is in all of our. I'd have to double check, but it's in our hard card if you look at the back of it.
Yeah.
If not, it's going to be. We're doing the review for 2026 now. It'll definitely be in there if it's not right now. So that being said,
Joe Arnold said alligator.
Alligator. That would fall under dangerous conditions.
different rule.
Different rule. That's right.
But
So,
or you could treat it like that famous, the one, I forget who did it, but the one guy when he was walking down the fairway just tapped him on the tail, and
That was a kid from LSU. I forget his name.
had to have been someone from LSU
Or Texas, I think.
so funny. Beginning of the last part of Rule 2.4, this is not used as much, but it's important to know, is no play zones. And no play zones define part of a normal course condition or penalty area where play is not allowed. So sometimes you get like the Audubon sanctuaries where you're not allowed to go in there. The other thing that's interesting about the no play zone, because people sometimes complain about this, but code of conduct from the local rules may tell players to stay out of the no play zone entirely.
Mm-hmm.
So can't even go in there.
Yep. Yeah, those are environmental areas. I mean, we had it at Aviara, the
landscape areas, whatnot.
Landscape areas, because they do a lot of flowers there, flower beds and stuff. That was actually free relief from that. But in certain cases, you will have a no play zone that does have a green top that is a 1-stroke penalty, and you just live with it. So, but that's
I can't wait for Matt Miller to come back in and talk to us about the landscape area behind the fourth hole.
That's a good segue, Jody. You're on fire again. Let's bring Miller back in. Competition committee. That's pretty funny.
It was on a flower. I don't care what you guys say. It was on a flower. And you said if it's in flowers, on flowers, I get free relief. I'd have taken a damn
I said if it was in
a
a flower bed.
Show me a
bed
damn
of flowers
definition
is a
then.
maintained area like mulch underneath. Like they hired a gardener to take care of the flowers.
Dandelions are a flower too, buddy.
I got I mean, again, I got dead last. I was looking for any advantage I could possibly get.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So anyways, Fegley, this is your lead, man. This is your baby, the competition committee.
Oh, we're back. So I mean, we have a lovely committee with what is it? We've got 3 chapter owners, 3 players now, soon to hopefully be 4. Where we spend our time on Wednesday nights going over relegation requests, going over the promotions, any other issues that might pop up on tour that need to get addressed. These guys and gals are great representatives. They're good folks to talk about. When you have issues on tour, to better understand things that are in the members manual, but you might want some clarification on. They're good folks to talk to. And it's just about making sure that we look at everything. We're taking care of what needs to be done as far as instituting as fair a play as can possibly done based upon the rules that we have. So, it's a good time, and Mr. Miller has been a fun representative, and it's good to get the players' perspectives because we definitely have different opinions sometimes, and it's good to know that you do get a player's perspective as well as from the chapter owner side. So,
yeah, I mean, I kind of mentioned it earlier, but we really do look at things for the betterment of the tour and what's best for the majority of the people out there. As I mentioned earlier, there's always going to be those outliers where it's like we just don't know what to do with this guy or girl. It's just a tough situation there. But I mean, I'd like to think I practice what I preach, and I'm not trying to take advantage of the rules. And, Joe Arnold is also a member of our competition committee as a player representative. If, I get a lot of people come up to me and ask questions or, maybe something they're not as comfortable going to Jody or Matt about, and just throwing ideas off me just to see things that they've seen. I mean, typically, if they come to me, they're going to get a nicer answer. If they go to Joe Arnold, they're probably not going to get a very nice answer. But
they'll get the New York flavor.
I've met a lot of people, and a lot of times too, I won't tell them that I'm on that competition committee until they've spent the first 3 hours of the round complaining about how their handicap is bogus. So it's always a nice little treat at the end to let him know that I'm the one that put him there.
Well, that's really funny. Well, what I think one of the things I want to point out about the competition committee, and Fegley, you've done a great job of this, and Jody and I certainly appreciate it because it's a lot of time and it's a lot of commitment from you guys. One of the things I laugh about, Miller got on the competition committee. We first met in 2021 at Victoria National. I won't dig the knife in any farther than that. But we got to know each other from that. But you came and you had some issues with some of the things and how handicaps were working the tour. And at the time, we didn't even necessarily agree about them. But I was like, hey, man, we've got this committee and we need different voices from different perspectives. And so why don't you come on and share your thoughts? And so one of the things that cracks me up is that people think the competition committee runs like, a propaganda arm of Jody and myself, but it's actually made up of quite a few different opinions. And that's one of the things that makes it really good. And, it's data driven, but there's also different perspectives. There's players from different divisions. There's players that play the senior tees. There's players that don't play the senior tees. There's players that want to play the senior tees like Joe Arnold.
Now 10 short days away.
10 short days away from his 60th birthday. But part of what makes it good is because you look at different things are looked at differently. And I can't express enough how much you guys look at each of these situations from different angles. And it's kind of interesting how, 3 years into this handicap committee experiment, how we're seeing the data that we've collected, play out in just interesting ways, ways that I didn't necessarily think would be possible, but I just kind of look at it now and I chuckle. So super proud of the work you guys have done.
We were really proud of the level of people on the national championship that scored out of flight. I'm not sure what those numbers are. You guys probably know a lot better than I would, but I mean, it looked really, really good. And I think that's ultimately what we're striving for is, throughout the season, we have a consistent group of people that are, shooting in flight and have a fair competition for everybody.
Yeah. It's one of those, like, if you're wanting fair competition, like I don't want to get on here and talk, but if you compare our scores to some of the others that are out there, like
I wasn't going to go there. But yeah,
I will. I'm happy to have the conversation. We'll have any of them that want to get on as a guest and talk about their scores, and we can go in and do the research on our guys and their guys. And I will just tell you, it ain't sexy, but there is a big difference in the level of equality across the board. A 1.9 gin that shot 65 2 weeks before in a city tournament didn't win our Division II last year.
And look, part of that too is kudos to the hard work and detail that's going into the competition committee, the work that they're doing, but also a lot of the work that we're doing with our chapter owners to try to make sure that our setups are right, our getting our T-checks done before every tournament, getting the yardages right, trying to really get uniformity across the country to where we don't have outliers where one tour is playing a division from 6,000 yards when another one's playing them from 6,400 yards week in and week out. And that's what happens when you get to a national championship and somebody is out of pocket because they've been playing something different all year long. And so that's why we're so hard on trying to make sure from the national office that we're getting those things right. And it's not perfect, but we're trying every week in and week out to review what happened with each tournament, make sure that there's not anything that's out of line, and if there is, to find out why and then try to fix it and make sure it's not an issue going forward.
Yep. And that is a big thing because that's one of the things that Keith and I actually talked about with one of his players. We had a relegation request come in where the tee setups that this particular person was playing offline before they joined the tour was really different from ours, and we were trying to get them slotted in the right spot because that is one thing that does make a big difference, especially in the senior groupings is the yardage that gets played. So just trying to make sure it's good, consistent.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot that goes into it. The other thing I would convince players that aren't sure, if you're new and thinking about joining, to get in, start a conversation with these guys, handicaps at aptgolf.org. The other thing is just share your accurate data because we're going to find it. And if we don't find it, somebody playing in the field is going to find it and send it to us.
Yeah, we have 5,900 super sleuths that are going to find your information.
Yeah, so just come in and play with everybody else in the division that fits your skill level. It's the best way to do it. It helps build camaraderie. It helps build the community, and it makes it a ton of fun.
Yep.
So the other thing I would say, Matt, if you don't mind, I think having the player reps has been a really positive thing. Like I mentioned, Joe Arnold's on it with me. I think we're looking. I don't want to speak for you, but I think we're looking to add a couple more people possibly. I think it's good to have people like myself and Joe looking at it where we're not in the meetings with the chapter owners. We're not in those discussions of, what are we going to do next and everything. Instead, we're sort of boots on the ground looking at that stuff and saying, this is what we're seeing and bringing it to the table while you guys are having your meetings as well. So I think it's good having two different perspectives. I mean, some of those calls have been known to get pretty heated. And I mean, there's usually one individual that I mentioned earlier who tends to speak up quite more than others, but he's from New York and that's bound to happen.
Oh, he's in the chat. He's going to let you have
it. I'm aware. He knows what I'm talking about.
By the way, Scott Hipp got it right. It was Cody Gribble that smacked the alligator in the PGA Tour event.
Yep. I just remember the clip.
So, while we got it,
I said Scott. I meant John Hipp. Sorry.
John.
Yeah. We'll keep you on, Miller. We'll take any questions from anybody who wants to come in. It's a great time if you got questions about the competition committee. They're not hiding. They're just not on stage, so you can throw tomatoes at them, but they are here to answer your questions.
They just get rocks in my golf bag, but where is that fine gentleman? I haven't seen him in the chat. Maybe one day he'll be back. It's all good.
I just got a notification that he's on Facebook Live somewhere else. He's doing his own thing at some band. So
got it.
We got any questions? Speak now, or at least hold your peace until next Thursday.
Until next week. From sunny Florida.
From sunny Florida. I'll be in St. Louis.
Oh,
I don't fly until Friday.
Got it.
I'm waiting.
But we'll be at PGA National.
I'll be in Florida for PGA National. Gonna get a couple extra rounds in. Looking forward to it.
There you go.
Cool. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in. Good content, Miller. Thanks for joining. We are going to close out with our friends from Worldwide Golf. Message from them. Definitely stay tuned. They've sponsored the Worldwide Golf Cactus Clash. Some special offers if you're planning on being out in TPC Scottsdale and some of their stores that are right next door. So stay tuned for that. But thanks for tuning in. We will see you next Thursday, where we're going to cover everything North American Championship. So make sure you are tuned in for that. We're having a lot of fun.
Get there. Get there. Get there.
Get there. Those two words are said by golfers all over the world as a sign of respect, a whisper of encouragement, a roar of support. It's what we say to our competitors, our loved ones, our heroes. It's what we say to ourselves.
Get there.
At Worldwide Golf, we're like you. We strive to improve our game, to elevate our standards, and transcend our limits. Our commitment is to the journey, to the tradition, and to the spirit of golf that unites us all. Since 1963, Worldwide Golf has been there to supply golfers with the equipment and apparel they need to drive their journeys forward. With over 100 retail locations spread across 10 retail brands and the best golf e-commerce websites, we have exactly what every golfer needs for however they choose to play. All of this done to help golfers who want to be their best get there. We are golfers, and we're here for golfers. We built a brand around evolving the game and having what you need to play your way, and it shows in every product we offer and every experience we provide. Our goal is singular, to help you get there. Though the game may change, our mission remains. To stand beside you, to grow with you, to celebrate every victory and learn from every shot.